Hi, this is a chart reading for someone who sent me their chart stats, their birth time, birthplace, birth location, and they had a specific question, and so my reading is gonna center around the question, which was what's the general life purpose or passions in the chart. And you have to look at the chart as an entirety, but you also have some specific places that'll help you with understanding specifically where to look for or cultivate fulfillment in what areas of life, what areas to focus might bring fulfillment and a sense of purpose. And then you kind of look at the whole chart to sort of see what obstacles might be, where you really might have to grow and learn some hard things to even get to that place sometimes, because sometimes there's some obstacles in seeing that. So this person's chart is also, I want to do a quick disclaimer. It's such a, that to what's one's purposes and passions, that is a really sacred question too, and so I don't take it at all lightly, and this is simply what I see and my specific interpretations as one little grain of sand human. So these are the insights that I've really tried to see what I could, but these are just insights. So I'm doing my best, but always believe in yourself and what your gut tells you. Where are these strong pulls, using your mind and your own heart, of course. So that goes without saying, but I just had to say it. So this chart, I'm going to go first with the things that really stood out to me with this chart. First of all, there are a lot of things that stood out to me at this chart, so I'll be as concise as possible. First of all, I will say this chart is naturally vibrant, potent, strong, a lot of strong energy in this chart, and natural ability to succeed, to enjoy life, and to lead, and really get the most out of life. And I say that first of all because this person has the kind of chart where this person's ascendant, which is how they come across to the world, is in Aries. If you have a Aries ascendant, then you've got you have all the areas of the life, right? These are the 12 areas of the life. If you have an Aries ascendant, Aries is the natural ruler of the first house, okay? Natural ruler of the ego, the identity, the sense of self. Then that naturally means that the ruler of the second house is Taurus. That's the natural ruler of the second house. Then it's gonna go in order like that for this person around the whole chart. So this person has sort of the natural energy and potency in every single area of their life, that it will feel natural, and there's kind of it's considered to be a really good position if you have the natural corresponding ruler leading that specific house. So Aries naturally rules identity, sense of self, ego. It's a natural placement, and it follows like that for this person in the entire chart. So there's no, I mean, I don't believe really in any bad placements, really, actually. I don't. But when it's just kind of like falls just kind of like the puzzles all together, like there's no scattered pieces, like, oh, this kind of a weird fix, like Pluto was randomly ruling like a house that's quite different than Pluto and then Scorpio energy, then that's interesting. But that can be very interesting, and it can be really fruitful too. But what I'm saying is, it's kind of it's more weird. Okay, I hope I'm making sense. I really don't like it when people sound really complicated with astrology, so I'm trying to be straightforward, and I hope that makes sense what I said. So I'll stop talking, because maybe I've already conveyed the message, I hope. So anyway, you got all the natural rulers in order in this chart. So that's good for that's great. The energy is there, and it just feels like, oh, well, this is how it's supposed to be. And there's a certain comfortableness and familiarity with every area of life, is what it would kind of infer. So anyway, we got that out of the way. I wanted to say that because it's really nice that this is going on in this chart. Now, as far as purpose goes, in this chart, this person has the sun, the moon, the sun, Venus, and Mercury all in the 6th house. And that's where this person's north node is. You look to the nodes of the moon to help you determine purpose, fulfillment, spiritual attainment, spiritual fulfillment. There's a north node, they also call it a true node. And in this person's chart, it happens to fall in the 6th house. And then there's your south node. In this person's chart, it happens to fall in the 12th house. There's nothing wrong with the 12th house or the south node, but what the south node is more like where you fall back, where you default to, where you're comfortable. And there can be a lot of joy and wonderfulness in the south node, I should say. It's where a person feels comfortable. Like the little kid going home to bed, and, just where they want to, if they want to rest, they're going to go back to the 12th house. Or not the 12th house. In this person's chart, it will be the 12th house, but the south node. This is this person's south node. And so you never leave the south node behind, but understand that if you focus too much energy there, you're going to have less of a chance of that spiritual fulfillment, probably, or the soulful fulfillment, because it's not a challenge for you. What you want is to boldly develop what is needed in the north node place, which for this person is the 6th house. Okay, so let me talk some more about that. The 6th house in this person's chart has the sun. This person is a Virgo, and they have Venus, and they have Mercury in their 6th house. The sun is the ego, identity, sense of self. The Venus is beauty, charm, art, artistry, grace. Mercury is intelligence, communication, how you communicate with yourself, with other people. Intelligence. Okay, so this person has a very stacked 6th house. It's a lot going on over here. that's where their true note is. And the sixth house, in and of itself, the sixth house is the house of service. The sixth house sees what is needed. You know, they're going to see what's needed in a variety of, just in general, in systems, in, you know, if they're a compassionate person, they're going to see suffering. And so what's needed there, someone needs help. They're going to see the chinks in the armor of any system, and they seek to improve and to help, either to improve or to help. And the sixth house rules things that are of the day-to-day, kind of the minutia. You know, it's like it takes so much minutia in life to create life, and to create a life, and to create everything. So the sixth house, to me, and is kind of like, you know, when they talk about, oh, you know, you spend like 10,000 hours eating in your life or preparing meals, and you spend 20,000 hours sleeping. I forget, but it's all the stuff that everybody doesn't, you know, you might do it on automatic pilot, or it might not seem like this big, glorious, galactical, fantastical thing to just have a little morning routine. Like, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, you know, I do 10 jumping jacks or whatever. But actually, those, you know, the little routines of day to day, the little, you know, systems we have around all that stuff, around self-care and care of whatever's in our environment, like our house, that's actually really deeply what makes our life up. And also it's going to change, of course, from person to person, family to family, culture to culture, depends on where you live, but all those things are really important. And so for this person, I would say, if they would be able, I think that they probably already, being a Virgo and having the Sun, Venus, and Mercury all in the sixth house, they all probably already have a lot of natural ability to, and might already be doing anyways, to like have routines. Though, sixth house also rules health. This person's probably very health conscious. They probably already naturally have interest in like routines, systems, methods that pertain to like self-care or care of other people. Again, like I said, this house is the house of service as well. Routines, routine schedules. What I want to say about that is this person might, purpose in life, it doesn't always, you get purpose from so many things. I don't know that this person necessarily would, want to start a business in some sort of, I don't want to tie a job to purpose necessarily, but of course, whatever we are doing in our career, a lot of the time can make up a lot of our life. But I will say that this person might find a lot of fulfillment, not only for themselves in the sixth house things, but also maybe helping other people, maybe. Because people are going to be naturally attracted to this person and their ability to communicate, and their natural beauty and charm in this house. Their ego is also in this house, their identity. So they can be a natural example in these ways. Maybe Sixth house is stuff like, like Marie Kondo is very sixth housey to me. The lady who is all about teaching you how to fold clothes and keep your house organized and stuff. She's one. There's, people that help you in your day to day. And I want to say, and whether it's your health or just taking care of what you need to take care of in the minutiae of your life. And what I want to say in that too is that, having order in your life and showing people to have order, how to have order in their life, is really healing. A lot of people need that. They need a routine. Most people need that. There is order to the whole universe, and we are like little mini universes that also need some sense of order. So I don't want to. I really feel that, but I don't want to get too into. I guess I said what I said. So there's a lot of depth and power in the sixth house in that. Also, sixth house is also, like I said, health. This person and service. So maybe this person, could be feel really fulfilled in a health, helping people with their health in some way, in some health modality. It could be fitness. It could be, being a nurse or a doctor or a midwife or a reflexologist or who knows. Could be anything that helps a person's health, helps a person come back into balance. So anyway, explore the sixth house, I would say. You got a lot of natural potential there. I mean, a lot. Beautiful, shining bright right there in that house. Sun, Venus, Mercury. It's a very powerful, those three together in this house. Okay. Now, on the other side, what you've got, I don't want to say opposing it, but the 12th house over here is where you probably emotionally are like, I don't want to hang out over here, because it's the default house and there's no struggle there. 6th house over here, it's got the opportunity for a lot of spiritual growth and fulfillment, but it might feel kind of like you don't really want to do it for whatever reason. 12, because you're like, I want to hang out over in the 12th house over here. 12th house over here has Jupiter and the moon. The 12th house is the house of dreams, subconscious, karma, cosmic connection, secrets. You have a very intoxicating 12th house. To have the moon in the 12th house alongside Jupiter is like just big old heart and mind exploration of just the dream world, cosmic connection. You probably maybe have a tumultuous emotional life at times. A lot of things might affect you. A lot of other people's energies might affect you. This is the 12th house is cosmic connection. You probably, you got like a lot of spiritual susceptibility and power going on over here. And like I said, you don't leave that behind. You don't leave any part of yourself behind, but you maybe focus on how much energy is going on, because the 12th house is very, it's kind of chaotic. 12th house isn't interested in building, looking into systems and, how can we improve upon this and do these little routine things. That's not really the 12th house. 12th house is pretty chaotic, or just very free form. And it's so in its dreaminess that it's not interested really in this 6th house stuff. It's not going to be like, I got a schedule to keep, and this is my routine, and I do this every single day, and this is how no, that's not the 12th house. So it's in a real different plane. So, but yet, even though you might really have a lot of fun and joy and fulfillment in the 12th house, really on your chart, because the North Node and the True Node is over here in the 6th house, you might want to check it out, even though, there's going to be maybe a lot of pull from the 12th house, like, what are you doing over there? Can we hang out and dream some more? And you should always, dream. But I'm just saying, you might actually end up being like, wow, really getting a lot of fulfillment, from developing the 6th house. And also, once you do take that nosedive into like the true node, whatever the true node is sort of telling you in your chart, and like, oh, this is what you should really, or could, you might be surprised, you might really learn some stuff, you might really grow if you go over to where I'm the true node over here. If you do that, it's kind of cool in a way, because actually, like in my personal experience, and it took me a really long time to get into my true node, because like I said, a lot of time there might be resistance. It actually even fleshes out and makes even more beautiful your South node. So that's a benefit. Okay. So life purpose, like I said, all that 6 node stuff, the 6th house, I feel like you probably feel a lot of purpose and like fulfillment if you focus on that. Okay, so I've talked a lot about that. I will say too that the moon is opposite Venus in your chart, and I think that is another indicator that that's really a lot of beautiful power going on right there. The moon and Venus. Moon is emotions, Venus is beauty, charm, grace, art, and you probably could have, people will be even more interested and compelled with you and your example, or whatever you're teaching too, with these placements, whatever you're teaching purposefully or just by being who you are. Okay. The other things that I'll go into really quick, you have Saturn in your 1st house, and that's a very difficult placement. I think that is difficult. It's hard for me not to say that that's not a difficult placement, but everything can be beneficial. I hate saying things are, I'm going to say challenging, but I'm not going to say, okay, so I'm going to say challenging. The reason why is because Saturn is limitations, karma, it's heavy, it's challenges, it will always take its pound of flesh. It is a stern taskmaster, and it's extremely exacting. If you have Saturn in your 1st house, there's probably, from a very young age, probably there was either maybe somebody on the outside that maybe made you feel, like you weren't up to par, or you might just have this internal sense, even though your chart is really positive, it has a lot of great placements and stuff, but with that Saturn in the 1st house will give someone some sense of like, I'm not good enough, or this is, I'm not good enough, or I'm a sense of inferiority, or a sense of just like I'm not good enough, or I'm lacking in some fundamental way. You'll also feel a lot of duty, like just sort of like this instinctive sense of duty to prove yourself or give to other people, or you always put yourself most likely in this role of like having to prove yourself, or feeling apart in a way, even though this it's really nice you've got the moon and the Jupiter over in 12th house, which emotionally connects you to a lot of people, the whole galaxy really. But that first house Saturn is hard, especially in the first house. That's the identity, ego. You might have some woundedness coming from the childhood, of someone that was too stern, too, didn't let you be a child. I'm not, or it might just be an internal thing. So that is, and then you have Kiran over in your 7th house, and 7th house is relationships. And I won't go too much into all that. We can, if you have any further questions on that, just ask me, because I don't want this video to be a billion trillion and like minutes long. And also, you didn't really ask about that. I just want to focus on the purpose of the life thing. That's why I wanted to bring Saturn into play, because to just have you recognize that is something that might make you feel insecure in your endeavors sometimes, or like, what's my life purpose? If it's in your first house, Saturn, even though you actually got Aries ruling the first house, which is fantastic, it's still going to put a damper on, because Aries is a natural leader, it's risk-taking, it's going to go do what it wants to do, but you got Saturn in there. Saturn's very heavy, so there's going to be self-doubt, stuff like that. Be mindful of that. 1 second.